to Flow FM 92.7. We're back to discuss and debate the big headlines we brought to you at 7 o'clock. We highlight some of those stories for in-depth analysis, and then you get a join in the conversation as well by calling 0807 777 9927 0807 777 You can text a message that same number, or you can call in live. There are basic simple rules that we must follow every time on the headline news analysis. Please note that you have the space of 60 seconds, 1 minute to make your comment and go straight to the point, so as to allow more contributions on the program. That's just the basic simple rule. And of course, outside of what we have outlined this morning, you're absolutely free to bring other headlines as you flip through the pages of the national newspapers as they catch your attention. You want us to analyze them, you can bring them on the headline news analysis, but for one condition: it must be from a credible source, and we must be able to verify your story. Thank you so very much. My name is Dayo Adeyemi.
I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey. Thank you for joining us on the headline news analysis this morning. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. Good morning to you, Nicholas.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
How's the week been so far?
Well,
How does it feel? I miss some 6 days to Christmas. And of course, this is the Friday. That leads us into
the
Christmas.
Weekend leads us into Christmas.
See, the thing is this, I have always said this before.
Right.
Things like all this festivity, I'm way beyond. I just look at it as a normal thing, normal festive.
But there are people
you don't get excited for Christmas
there are people
anymore?
that look up to it and like, hey, we're going to celebrate you as
the
a
only
big figure
concern I
there.
have is my pocket.
As it should be.
Yeah.
As it should be, really.
Yeah.
All right. The views to be expressed is not in any way the position of FlowFM 92.7 on the staff therein, but is expressed by in-house analyst Nicholas Uwerunonye and all of the individuals who will call on the show this morning. Also, we're streaming live on YouTube and on Facebook at FlowFM 927, but that shouldn't stop you from following us across all our social media platforms. It's the same across all of them. FlowFM 927 on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Facebook as well. Let's get right into the stories. You can call us on 0807 777 9927 to be part of the conversation and make your comments on any of the news stories that catches your attention as well. And let's get right into the news stories. In a season of political recalibrations, a growing number of Nigerian politicians are defecting en masse to the ruling All Progressives Congress. From governors to senators to local party chieftains, the trend has become a defining feature of Nigeria's political landscape in the first half of 2025. While such shifts may appear to be part of the political game, they raise profound questions about the integrity, ideology, and future of democratic governance in Africa's most populous nation. Now, recently, several prominent politicians spanning opposition parties and former ruling blocs have joined the APC. And these include former governors, current state executives, members of National Assembly, and influential local power brokers. Though individuals' motives vary from survival and ambition to opportunism, the collective pattern is unmistakable. It thus begs the question: Nigeria's democracy undergoing a dangerous mutation? Now, Nicholas, political realignment in Nigeria is not new, but what makes this current wave more alarming is its sheer scale and timing. It comes not from deep ideological persuasion or a national emergency, but rather from a growing perception that APC is only viable route to political relevance and protection. This perception, if left unchallenged, could destroy the last vestiges of credible opposition in the country. What is driving these defections? The fear nursed by many in the country is that the country is moving towards what many political scientists call dominant party system. Is that the path we are on now, and what implication does it have on our democracy as a whole?
Well, you see, as frightening as some of us, the points raised are, we must equally look at a silver lining, a kind of silver lining behind the wave of defection. Yes, it looks like democracy is imperiled. It looks like we are narrowing choices. It looks like, it's more or less like, a winner takes all kind of a thing. But again, you must equally, when you study the states that are undergoing this shift, you see that there is one defining thing, and which is insecurity. And the body language of the president that is looking towards a more, how do I put it, the real kind of federation where you have state police, where you have more regional autonomy. You understand? So, you see, it begs another question that, look, if we are looking at democratic practice, are we considering the overall interest of some of these states as part of the reason why they are moving towards party. That's the only way they can achieve it. You understand? Now, let us put this in a clearer perspective. There is this move by Plateau State government. It has been announced that the governor is moving towards. So APC. If you look at Moftwang is under no threat whatsoever from APC, even considering the fact that the national chairman of APC is from Plateau State.
Nantawey.
Nantawey. He's not. There hasn't been any kind of brickbats between them, yet he has announced that the man is moving to APC. What could be the reason? Now, if there is anything that has always defined Plateau State, it's this insecurity thing.
Yeah.
And the inability of government to control security. So what if the only way, with this state police, thing that is trending all over the places, that is about the only when you have a cohesive body, that is states who are united by this problem and haven't decided that the only way they can have it is through state police, regional autonomy, local government autonomy, and they are willing to make the shift. What if that is what is uniting them? That is one thing that I think we should equally consider. But by and large, for those who understand that is a classical democracy, those who are keen about it, that is about plurality of choices and the rest of them, it is quite alarming. You understand? Especially considering the kind of politics we play in this part of the country where it's multi-ethnic, multi-religious, who caters for the other interests. Then again, when you look at the other people that have remained on the other block, you understand? They are largely core northern states, that are having a Bauchi state, for instance, and, those who are prone towards the Atiku bloc and ADC and the rest of them, those who, might swing to that, So that is what we are having. But again, like I said, this is about the contest of ideas. I think that, as much as we think that the ruling party has not been fair in terms of party administration, a party management, they has not been fair. They've been interfering in internal workings of the opposition parties. We must equally put it to the opposition people too, but because they have not been cohesive. They have not played opposition politics very well. So that is just my initial take on this matter.
All right, then we're hearing that the Plateau State governor will join the APC.
Yeah.
That's Caleb Moftwang. That was announced by the APC national chairman.
In his absence.
That's
almost a first.
Yeah.
So that makes it like the whole North Central states is being controlled by the APC.
Yeah.
7 states, including the FCT, and then you see that most down south is also the APC.
Yeah.
What does that really say about the personality of the president and the popularity of the APC? Looking at the situation you cited with Plateau, that it's not really about the normal saying that they are being coerced to join the APC. It might be for personal reasons, or maybe for security gains of the state.
Well, you see, the thing is this: you have to understand the persona of the man, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You might say he's, but okay, personally. For me, if I have a choice between him and 2 of the other candidates, I'll probably choose 2 of the other candidates before Tinubu. But it doesn't mean that I will not acknowledge the fact that this man, his ability to do political brinkmanship is top-notch. That is the thing. He knows how to make deals. And he forged that skill while he was in the opposition. He knew how to...
So do you think this has the fingerprints of the president?
So, absolutely. That is, you see, on the one hand, you might say that there are subtle intimidation and the rest of them, but I don't think that is the entire story. Yeah, I think there are other deal-making behind the table. And to a very large extent, you see that the political stakeholders in those states that swung to APC are kind of contented with it, and you don't see any opposition happening there. You see, the biggest surprise for me is Delta State, where I come from.
Honestly?
Yeah, Delta State. I'm a Delta man. And I know that Delta is a more organized rainbow coalition kind of an entity. That is a small Nigeria. But people who have come to understand that where there is where every group understands their limits. You understand? It's not about your population. Even the smallest can muster the awesome amount of violence. You understand? So everybody understands this place in Delta State. So when a party, when the ruling, decide to swing to APC, you would expect conflagration. But all of a sudden, there's peace. Nobody's talking much. Yes, PDP is talking, Labour Party is talking, but it's that vociferousness that can, that can lead to explosion is not happening. Now you see that happening in the River State, Port Harcourt. This guy swung to, and he didn't see all those Ijaw militants going all over and blowing up places. So for me, I think it's about deal making largely, not necessarily coercion like we keep on saying. It's more of a political brinkmanship.
So why do you think the opposition keeps singing that melody?
Yeah, but because initially that was the.
Is it to whip the sympathy of the voters?
Of course, that's part of it. That is what opposition is all about. Provide opposing choices.
And painting the situation that is actually not the reality of things.
No. I won't go to that extent. There are weird truths that the ruling party used their position in power to scooper the internal cohesion of politics. But the opposition parties, we saw what happened in Labour Party. It did happen. That was before probably President Tinubu decided to take matter to his own hands. Now, we saw what happened in the case of PDP, giving a plump position to Wiki. You can't deny that the president cannot deny not to have seen the kind of incendiary comments that Wiki has been making all over the places. He's been making incendiary comments. He's been strutting the place and things like that. But when it came to put him in place, the president pretended as if he's not seen anything, and the man has been put in his place. You understand? So the man has achieved, he allowed all those things to happen. And, of course, the deal-making was happening in the background. But again, you see, let's not, it's not total win for APC, please. I must add that caveat.
No, we're just analyzing.
Because you see, look,
the power lies with the people.
I was in Lagos recently. Was it 2 weeks ago? I was in Lagos. I felt of course, I touched base with my political contacts that I have, and of course they are predominantly APC. And I can tell you that there is rancor within APC. Because these guys are coming in to meet the traditional, APCites. Let me just put it that way. You think they are going to be happy? Let me give you one very good example.
A big example, the obvious one is the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly against the incumbent governor.
In fact, that is even child's play. Let me give you one very good example. Have you ever... I'm sure you know of one Joe Igbokwe.
I know Joe Igbokwe, yes, of course.
And that is he's virtually a pariah in the southeast. You understand? What has been his reward? When you can bring in a Renu and mockery, that has been a scourge to people in his part of Nigeria, you rewarded him with an ambassadorship. Have you seen him talking? You understand? So, you see, it is symptomatic of how the ruling party has been rewarding people that were stalwarts. You understand? Now, you now have the Muftwang, you have Kefas will soon join in, you have Uwerunonye, you have all of those guys moving in droves to APC. And these guys have the money, they have the backing, they are coming with followership. They could swamp them. Yeah. You understand? So, those traditional APCites, let me put it that way, are they going to be happy? They are humans,
Of course.
So you see, it's not a total win. In fact, some of my guys were even saying that there will be an implosion towards.
But again, as you say that you're about the president's knowledge of brokering deals and all, don't you think you're still going to be silenced at the long run, even if there are roaring operas here and there within the Lagos APC? Maybe
you'll be able to broker some deals.
President Tinubu has been doing well, but he's not a Superman. That is the simple truth. You see, when I started my analysis on this radio program, there was something I said. I said that I belong to a religious body that is inured of political affiliation and things like that. So it makes me to see things more clearly than the ordinary person, ordinary analyst or journalist. I had this, it's an upbringing I have for over 30 years. So, in as much as I'm able to see this other side of what Tinubu has been doing politically. I'm also willing to admit that he is not a Superman. He does not know all. You understand? In the short measure toward 2027, this might just be it for him, getting a second term. But it might just be. But you see, the devil is in the detail. There are other small things that could conflagrate into bigger problem for him going towards 2027. And please, let us not, we keep on thinking that most of these people going into APC are going there because they prefer Tinubu to have a second term. That is a wrong assumption. Okay. Most of them are going there for selfish reasons. To get a second term ticket, then whoever gets the presidency, so be it. Okay. So it's still an open game, but you see, we have to say every side of this, this option,
All right. 0807-777-9927. Again, 0807-777-9927 is the number to call to make a comment on the news stories that we're talking about this morning. Let's get to another story. Let's touch on another story real quick. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Representative Tajuddin Abbas, has constituted a 7-member ad hoc committee to investigate allegations of discrepancies between tax bills passed by the National Assembly and the versions later assented to and gazetted. The allegations that the gazetted tax laws differed from what lawmakers debated and approved upon. How does this portray the National Assembly to Nigerians?
No, I think they've done their job. That is, if it's true that there are some discrepancies and pointing it out, I think that's fantastic. That is legislative oversight. Checking the executive. That is what they are meant to do.
Okay.
So they have done that job. And it is quite worrisome. Because, you see, it's one of those things that, it's one of those things you have when you have a one-party system. The stronger arm of government can easily reroute everybody. The legislature makes one law and they implement a different thing entirely. That is what you are seeing here. And I pray it's just a misunderstanding. Because already the issue of tax ahead of 2026 is raising a lot of concerns. You understand? The opposition bloc are raising hoopla all over the places. Gyrating, fuming. And you see, when you look at most of what they are talking about, we are all humans. We are all in the Nigerian economy, and we know what it's doing to us. You understand? The economy is biting deeply, and to now to even think of adding additional burden in the areas of tax on Nigerians is almost unthinkable. So under that circumstance, I think that it is quite a very good call. And it shouldn't just be about making that call. It's about mobilizing Nigerians, if necessarily, checkmating the executive if there are discrepancies in that matter. You understand? Because we are all involved, one way or the other.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Nicholas, I'm talking about, this tax, ahead of 2026 and the whole conversation around, these the new tax laws and all of this, and then come the concerns raised by the National Assembly as to discrepancies in what was debated and what is being gazetted and ascended to. Well, one wants to think that for the general benefit of the tax law, the new tax law to be implemented in January, it benefits the average Nigerian.
Well, that is the impression.
The impression.
Yeah.
Now, does it also portray the impression that the rich and powerful, in a way, the rich and powerful that I mean right now, are certain powers or blocks in the National Assembly trying to find a smart way around it?
No, I don't think so. I think what you are saying
against the benefits, to the common masses.
No, I don't think it's about the powerful, and I don't think it's about the powerful trying to smuggle some kind of clauses within it to benefit themselves at the expense of the masses. I think what the noise is all about is federal government's unconscionable manner in trying to raise more revenue, at the expense of the collective welfare of the Nigerians. I think that is where the concern lies. Yesterday when we were talking about these budgetary provisions, we were talking about this kind of conflict between what the president said and what the Minister of Finance said in meeting revenue targets.
Yes.
You understand? And meeting it by a shortfall of 20 trillion or thereabout. So the only way they can do that is to show up tax. You understand? So at the end of the day, it's about government getting more money to spend. So how they get that money? Of course, the powerful. Okay, we have a call.
Yeah, we do have a call. Let's take a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Shitta. I'm calling from Zango.
Shitty from Zongo. Please go ahead with your comment, please.
Yeah, I want to talk about defection to APC. You see, there is a difference between wish and reality, whether we like it or not. The type of person Tinubu is also playing out there. Because whatever you do in life, human management is very, very key. And it's not about people coming to social media or media houses and say what people want to hear. They're talking like angel. No. People around you should feel it. They should talk about it even when you are not here. People should see progress around the people around you. So when you are like that, you see, to control human beings, it will be a bit easy for you. Because whether we like it or not, every party in Nigeria have their own internal crisis. But people are coming to APC, more because of the person, you know how to manage, even among the people that are contesting for this election. I think it will go as the most humble person, among all of them. So this is going to play out, whether we like it or not. And also, 2027, whether we like it or not, Nigeria is a country that most is one. Part of the two that make people win election in Nigeria, structure is part of it. Structure. So we got to see our life. So, and the only thing I'm clamoring for is good governance. Be it national or state, whosoever that is here, they should try and reduce the hardship for people. May God bless Nigeria. Right. God bless Kwara State and FlowFM. Thank you.
You're listening to FlowFM, please. That's FlowFM, FLOW. Thank you. Please note that. I want to ask you this. From Mr. Shitu's comments and the obvious defections. Is it a battle against the South and the North going into it?
No.
Or is the president making inroads into the North? Because again, we're just laying foundations for the conversations that will begin extensively in 2026.
Okay.
Before you respond to that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes,
please.
good morning.
My name is Timileyin Adeyemi from Adedayo.
All right, Timileyin, good morning to you. Go ahead, please.
About this single party state now, I don't think it will happen. My base is on this political that I'm running about. Why can't they stay and do the party like the president did? He stay in single party and up now he's still there. So I agree with Peter Obi. He shouldn't have left Afghan. He had built the party, he left. He went to PDP, he left. He went to Labour, he left. He's now doing where he is. Same thing with Atiku. They have the money. Let them build one party too. Instead of praying about. I think we'll just be laughing at them now. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, you were making a point.
And then I was saying that this is just a conversation that is foundation as the many conversations we'll have in 2026. Is the president also making inroads into the North? Because as it does appear, he has the South. In a way, of course, the power is with the people.
Yeah, you see, the thing about political calculation is that you can't be absolute. You understand? Because you are dealing with humans. There is this favorite expression in economics, ceteris paribus.
All things being equal.
And we all know all things are never equal. So, yeah, it might appear so that, but I think the real question is existentialism. People want to survive. People want to get out of this insecurity. That is all. So down to decision-making level, they have seen the clarity of the situation that we'll talk about party later. But first, how do we get this policy to become law? The easiest way to get it to become law is that if we join, if the president, all through his opposition years, he's been about true federalism. He's been about fiscal, this thing. He's been about state police. And he's been talking about it. You understand? And more, the North Central of Nigeria has been under the scourge of headsmen militia. You understand? And of course, you recall what just happened recently, the case of Kwara. And Nuhu Ribadu came out and said, yes, we actually armed those people that were caught in so place. It doesn't inspire confidence among those governors. That look, all the while we've been talking about state police with having vigilantes, they are not properly armed because we don't have the wherewithal to get them. But you pick some random people and just arm them and throw them and allow them to roam about, people who are known to be non-sedentary. You understand? So you see, it's the optics is kind of frightening for me. I'm talking as a Southerner. You understand? So definitely, so if the only way you can get the president to back him so that this thing you can have a majority to push the laws and policy through is to join APC, why not join it? You understand? So that is what I think is happening. It's more of existential. It's not about regional cleavage or regional division. No.
So with that now, we might see more, or a few, or maybe one or two governors from the core north where insecurity persists move.
Maybe.
Based on that.
Maybe. And I'm looking at Zamfara, for instance. I'm looking at Zamfara because, already you can see the kind of pressure that Metawele is going through. And it's coming from all angles. You understand? So what if a kind of brinkmanship is organized? That is if, the state governor of Zamfara is genuinely concerned about putting a system in place that ensures that his people are no longer killed. That you go after this bandit thoroughly. You now have a handle on going after this bandit, Bello Toji and the rest of them for the first time. You think he's not going to make that deal? He will make that deal. Get the state police, then the first order is get me Toji, whatever if he's within this Zamfara, get him for me so that I can make a scapegoat of him. That is what a governor would do, and that is what I would do.
All right, let's take a comment from Facebook real quick, and then we'll wrap up on the show this morning. Dr. Mrs. Umalabar from Owerri says, on Yuletide, Christmas season, in the next few days, Christians will commemorate the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. Some families are already stressed and confused with so many pressures to meet up. Many are compounding their lives with problems, debts, frustration, anger, and worries. God will surely make a way where there seems to be none. God is bigger than all challenges facing us right now. May we not lose the spiritual meaning of Christmas, as it means more than business and commerce. May the peace that comes from God and goodwill be on our lips. Amen.
Okay. Well, I think she has a very good point. It's not just about business and commerce, but truly the essence and significance of the celebration of Christmas. Yes.
Yeah. All right, 0807-777-9927. You can still calling or sending a message real quick before we wrap up. As we wait for that, your closing thoughts.
Yeah, my closing thought, we just need to say this, which is that, the festive period is here. This is when we need to really, for those who want to celebrate one festivity or the other, the spirit behind it, which is humanity. Yeah. That is just about it. So take issues of mercantilism and the rest of them out of it. You understand? Yeah.
What's the highlight for you this week?
The highlight, of course, from football to the issue of this Australian killing, the killing that happened in Australia.
Yeah.
It's a big story. It's a global big story, and because it's still ongoing.
That is the height of anti-Semitism.
I think we're hearing the United States president says, he still doesn't know the reason behind that attack.
Yeah.
Just to find out.
Yeah.
All right.
Our time is fast. When we're back to your ears on Monday, God willing, from 8 o'clock to 8:30. I'm Danielle Shitta-Bey.
I am Adedayo Adeyemi.
Thank you for joining us.
Osalobua. Baba, make you help me, make I dey shine my eye.